So I keep getting emails, and don't email me. And some of it is from folks who didn't show up the first day, and some of it's from folks that didn't bother to read the news on D2L. But I'm going to go back and I'm going to share this screen, and I'm going to bring it up again. Down here at the bottom, do not email programs after the due date. I'm a little more intense with my comp sci courses. I have a comp sci degree. I think the boss says this is due, it has to be due. So one of the things that I'm going to get is folks that are going to procrastinate. They're not going to do their programs until late that Sunday evening, right before it's due, and they're going to try to email it to me after that time. Do not email programs after the due date. Okay. I don't have, it's one of those things that you need to learn. Either don't procrastinate or accept the grade you get if you don't submit it on time. But a pet peeve in computer science for me is you need to submit on time. So in here, you need to, it won't let me highlight there, plan ahead. Don't send it to me late. Now, along those same lines, don't email me and say, oh, I missed a program. Can you open it for me? And I'll tell you why. No. Why? Because if I email it for you or open it up and extend it another day for you, then I have to offer that same thing to everybody in the class. And if I extend it one day for one person, I have to extend it a second day for another person. And 2 programs later, somebody doesn't have it done and they start asking for that, then I have to give everybody another day. Programs, I give you quite a few days to be working on them. Get working on it right away. Break it down into pieces. Destiny, go ahead.
So
yeah.
yes. So if after we have our grade estimate and everything, so say we do get like a bad grade or something like that, and we go back and fix the program, can we at least show it to you so you can like look at it, like not expecting another grade or anything like that, or to redo it, but just looking at it?
Gladly look at it. Now, here's another thing, Destiny. If I have a program, you have a program due in 3 days, why not, and you're done, submit it now. Because a lot of my students know that if I have time, I grade them when they come in.
Right.
I've started grading a couple of the second ones already, the matrix ones. And if I give you a grade and say you still have time to redo it and re-upload it.
Okay.
That's what I like to do. I like to see what grade you give me.
Right. And Ken's got his second one done. I already graded his second one. And, they start working on the third one. But this is probably your major. And one of the things you can't do is procrastinate. Another thing, you need, oh boy, where am I at here? Not there, not there. Where in the heck? Here. Okay. I explained, I put these on every week. You need to be able to read it and you know what's going on in class. 6 folks weren't there the first day. They're here now. They got on because I was able to see that they got on. They didn't read this and understand assignments. I didn't get any emails. I had one student from this class sign up for an office hour, and we sat and we talked about stuff and things were clear. But you got to be able to read these, and they're on there for a reason. Okay. So there's stuff going on that I put on this discussion board that, here's week 2, Tuesday, we'll be starting 12-1 and we'll be gone for a while. We're actually only going to get to 12-4 today, not 12-7. On Thursday, again, don't procrastinate. Get started on those selected topics because I'm not getting any questions. So I assume you know where the paperwork is. I'm assuming you know where the videos are and you checked all this out. Code listing, we have one due next week. Okay, we have one that's already due. It was due at the beginning of class today at 10 a.m. It's all there. You folks are in college. You're smart enough to be able to read and do all of these things. Finally, and I don't want to be a bad guy. I'm just letting you know, nipping all this in the bud. Due dates are due dates. You got to get it done. If you don't, boy, boy, the last thing that I want to share screen and here. So and somebody even made this comment. What I wanted from you in that very first review program was a review of methods. I wanted you to create a main. Here's the main. We come in, first thing you do is declare variables. Second thing are the method calls. I have 2 calls for input. I have a calculation and a calculation, and I have a display. I had somebody do, I think 2 people did classes, the whole 9 yards. Great, you didn't have to do that, but that's fine if you did it. I had folks bringing crazy GUIs in. Well, I only ask that you don't use the console. This is the console window down here. I am not accepting, you will be deducted points if you do input and output on the console. But this is me making sure you broke it down, just like we did on that in-class review problem 1. We called a method, go do this, go do this, go. You take the big problem and you break it down into smaller problems. I had one that had a method that a call to one method, and inside that method, it was a call to another method. I guess technically that's all correct, but this is what I was using. This is another program that I noticed line numbering wasn't turned on. Mine's not turning on right now, but get line numbering on, especially when you're working in groups. So one group I was in last week, I said, hey, turn line numbering on. And it's Control L, and I don't know why it's not turning it on. Oh, there it is, Control L. It's much easier to work when you have line numbering going on. It's much easier to work when you have this documentation going. You typed up code listings that were due today, and as you went through them, if you weren't sure of a line of code, there was documentation there right away. One of the things I used to do in 161 was I would create a crappy program, but I'd have good documentation, and I'd say, go fix it. Because chances are you may be fixing somebody's work. Pretty good documentation on this one. Get opposite. Now, what? Oh, they even did some try and catch blocks. They were really into it, and that's fine. But I didn't want a simple GUI that says, please enter a number. That's boring. That's not very user-friendly. You're asking the user, please enter one side of a triangle. And you may have more going on in that method, like making sure that it's greater than 0. You know, you may have something. So the purpose for the method is a block of code to do something. And input is going to be more than just getting a number. Okay, so we're back to this screen. Again, I am preaching to the choir. You already know what's going on. Some folks in here, again, this is why I'm making a video. Some that aren't here today, I want to make sure this message gets out. I will put this on the homepage. And are there any questions about this?
Can you run the program? I just want to see what you mean by like not to ask, like put in this side, this side.
I will come back here. So how would you like a program if down here, if first of all, a user can't use it because they can't open Java, and you have the console window here, and you say, enter a number, and I would enter 3, enter number 4, and then 2 answers came out, 5 and 6. Well, that's not very user friendly. First of all, we don't want it in the console. We want a user to be able to see it. Second of all, you're going to do something along the lines of, welcome to my triangle program. I'm going to ask you for the length of the 2 sides, and we'll show you the hypotenuse and the area of that triangle. Please enter the length of one side. Boom. Please enter the length of a second side. Boom. Here is the area for the given sides 3 and 4. Here's the hypotenuse for the sides 3 and 4. So it's more user friendly for someone who doesn't know what your program's supposed to do. And you say, hey, sister, come over here and sit down and see if you understand what's going on when you run this program. So that's the user friendly input and output. Okay. You're all programmers. You know what answers you want. When it pops up, then you're like, oh, hey, I see a 5 popped up. Good, I'm done. No, it's going to be a little bit more than that. Okay,